And today is Astrobot Day. It is absolutely, without question, Astrobot Day. And you know what else today is? Today is a day of apologies. It's a day of straight up apologies to our boy, Jeremy Horowitz. Our boy, Jeremy Horowitz. Who would have ever thought that Jeremy Horowitz was on the money? Jeremy Horowitz was on the money. This is potentially a killer app in VR. I really do believe, like, dude was actually right. Dude was actually right. Yes, so let me tell you folks, let me turn this down a little bit. Astrobot, oh my God. So I got Astrobot earlier today, and I didn't think I would have a chance to get into this prior to our show. But I went ahead and I set the timer on my phone for 25 minutes. And I said, you know what, let me just play 25 minutes of Astrobot before I do my show today. And then that way I can have some, I've tried Astrobot. I've tried a little bit of it, at least the very beginning, right? And so I've just gotten out of that. I might look kind of weird and stuff because I've had this headset on now for probably about 35 minutes. And I was super late to like getting this show started and everything. And I had to grab some of these Astrobot trailers, make sure I had some good Astrobot trailers to have on here. And oh my God, man, I just came out of this game. Dude, Astrobot may be the best VR game I've played. Period. The best VR game. Astrobot is up there, man. It is up there with Fallout 4 VR. It's up there with the Talos Principle VR. It is up there with Skyrim VR. It's up there with Resident Evil 7. It is up there with Wipeout VR, Subnautica. Whatever the best VR game is that you can possibly think of, Astrobot is there, man. Astrobot is right there. Oh my God. And then the other thing is, playing this game, when you play this game, like I just got out of this game. I just played this game earlier. Like, who switched out my PlayStation VR headset? How the hell did I get a brand new PlayStation VR headset? Because the visuals in this game are so clean and they're so crisp. Japan Studio, like, let's give major props where major props are due, because Japan Studio, oh my God, look at these images that I'm seeing right here. I'm looking at some of these images. After experiencing what I just experienced, I'm imagining, oh my God, this shit is going to be surrounding me. 52 levels of Astrobot, and virtually every minute that you're playing this game, like every other minute, you start smiling and giggling. There are so many clever little touches that are done. So many. Oh my God. The thing about it though is, as incredible as Astrobot is, and it really is freaking incredible. Like, Astrobot is really on another level. But as incredible as it is, there's still going to be people out there that they play Astrobot for 10-15 minutes and they're going to be like, wow, this really is colorful, this really is cheerful, this really is happy, this really is sunshine and rainbows, but it's not what I'm looking for. There's going to be people out there like Erwin X, my good buddy Erwin X. He's poured thousands of hours into Sariento VR. He's a hardcore VR player. But I've talked to him, I've had conversations with him where it's like, nah, man, he just can't get into third-person VR. And so, like, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, Chronos, Edge of Nowhere, Bound, all the incredible third-person games, Moss, so many others, right? All these great third-person games that we've had. Like, some people just won't go down that road, and it is terribly unfortunate because, oh my God, dude, I can tell you straight up, I am going to put my wife and both of my sons, I am going to sit them down with Astrobot, and I am going to force them to play 10 minutes of this game. I'm going to force them to play 10 minutes of this game. And you know what's going to happen? They're not going to want to stop playing. They're not going to want to give up the headset. See that level right there where it's kind of like this construction level with the construction beams and all of that? That is the level I was just in. And do you know how freaking crystal clear and how sharp? I don't know. What is Sony doing? Like, what magic, what wizardry is Sony doing with this headset that it looks a million times better with Astrobot? Astrobot looks like it's running on a different platform. Astrobot looks like it's running on PSVR 2. It is so clear. It is so crisp. There's none of that Vaseline crap going on. None of that Drive Club VR thing going on. This, oh my God, guys. Do you realize this is like Christmas morning? This is Christmas morning. I was there, man. I was there in 1991. It was very late August of 1991. I bought a Super Nintendo. I bought a Super Nintendo the day it came out, man. We're talking like August 26 or something of 1991. I was there. I bought a Super Nintendo. I bought Pilot Wings and I bought F-Zero. And I took it all home. And there was a game cartridge that was in the box. It was called Super Mario World, and it was freaking spectacular. It was so incredible. Super Mario World, I just played that game over and over and over again. I mean, that game kept me enraptured for probably 4 or 5 months, Super Mario World. And this is kind of that Super Mario World moment. Dude, Jeremy Horowitz, I'm telling you, dude was on the freaking money. This is not just Robots Rescue. This is not just like 8-9 hours of Robots Rescue. This is beyond that. Whatever Japan Studio is doing here, they need to share this with the rest of the PlayStation VR development community because the graphics are crystal clear. I cannot stress this enough. The Sony headset has some issues in terms of resolution. It doesn't have the God rays. That's the one thing that PSVR has always had. But the clarity in this game is really on another level. Everything is just so clean and so crisp. When this game first started and my little robot guy was running around, I was like, dude, fucking pinch me because this is not real. I'm looking around at this area and everything is just so goddamn clean and so goddamn clear. I can tell you that when I get an opportunity, I'm going to sit down with Astrobot sometime this evening and I'm probably just going to play this for like 3 hours straight. I'm basically going to play this for 3 hours straight. So John Edwards says, was that actually what Jeremy Horowitz was teasing? It's Horowitz with just one O. And dude, my apologies. Jeremy Horowitz from VentureBeat. Straight up, man. My apologies. I did not see what you have seen. And now I have seen what you have seen. And this is top 5 material. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the best PlayStation VR game, period. Above Resident Evil 7, above Wipeout VR. And this is going head-to-head with Fallout 4. It's going head-to-head with Skyrim VR. It is going head-to-head with Lone Echo. I know this may not be your genre. I totally understand that. You guys might not have been into 3D action platformers since you were playing like Spyro and since you were playing Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter. You know, this kind of 3D platforming game may be a genre that you haven't been interested in since the early 2000s, and I totally get that. But holy shit, Japan Studio, they stepped up to the plate and they freaking yanked it. I mean, they yanked it like a straight line drive home run that just went straight over the bleachers and right out of the goddamn stadium. I have only played 25 minutes of this, and I've already seen enough to tell you that we could be looking literally at Game of the Year right now, like done. It's over. Game of the year has been locked down. I mean, I'm just looking at some of these levels. Look at those clouds. Dude, the sun, the lighting in this game, like even you graphic whores are going to like this because the lighting, it has a realistic look. There's definitely stuff that Japan's, this is not just platformer love. This is not just, oh, Anthony was a fan of these games back in the 90s and he has this special place in his heart for Sonic and for Mario and for Aero the Acrobat and for Kid Chameleon and for all the great platformers that we had back in the 90s. And I do have a special place in my heart for that. And I got a special place in my heart for Super Mario 64. I am Ruts is saying, bro, honeymoon period. Okay, if this is the honeymoon period, this is the definition of a honeymoon period. This is honeymoon like a mofo. This is a honeymoon in freaking Tahiti with the baddest broad in town. This is the ultimate honeymoon that you could possibly ever imagine. So yeah, maybe I am in a honeymoon period, but goddamn, this honeymoon is a honeymoon to rave about. Now, I will say this, like if we wanted to try to go down the negative road, maybe it's too goddamn easy. You know, maybe it's too easy. That would be the real worry with Astrobot, is that it's just too damn easy. I still think it's going to be incredibly fun and it's going to put a huge smile on your face. I mean, anybody that has played Lucky's Tale, if you enjoyed Lucky's Tale, then you owe it to yourself. And if you don't have a PlayStation VR, man, if you have a PlayStation 4, you gotta buy that bundle. You gotta buy the bundle with Astrobot. How appropriate is it actually that they have these two games together? Because Polyarc, I guarantee you, if I were to talk to some of the people at Polyarc that created Moss, they were inspired in some way, had to been inspired by Robots Rescue on October 13th, 2016, which Robots Rescue was basically like a 13-minute preview for what we were going to get 2 years later with Astrobot. And Sony delivered, man. They delivered. This is one of the rare circumstances where they actually freaking delivered. Holy smokes. This is one circumstance where the hype was not overblown. The hype is not overblown. They absolutely delivered. So Astrobot, they really should have demos of this game everywhere. Like, here's what Sony should do. Sony, this is exactly what you should do. At every mall around the USA, every major mall, at least one in every major city, you need to have a special kiosk. There's all these mall kiosks, you know, a relatively small space, and you set up like 4 little Astrobot stations and have a little Astrobot robot there, 4 little Astrobot demo stations. This will sell VR. If people get this on and they play it for 10 minutes, this is the best demonstration of VR I think I maybe have seen. Like, it just completely polished and everything. Like, this really is kind of a killer app. It really is. But the thing is, you have to get somebody into the headset, and they've got to spend 10 minutes with it. If they spend 1 or 2 minutes with it, they might be like, oh yeah, it's cute, it's fun, but I don't really like these kinds of games. Or maybe they get a little bit motion sick or something like that. I mean, that's really the only worry, but god damn. I'm going to tell you straight up, I am putting my wife in this. My wife is not a video gamer by any stretch of the imagination. Like, not even. Like, she's maybe played like an hour of video games in her life combined, just humoring me occasionally, right? But I'm going to tell her, look, just play 5 minutes of it. Just humor me. Just play 5 minutes of it, and she's going to come out of it, and she's going to be like, wow, that is impressive. Because let me tell you a little bit about Twilight Path. So right before I left for Hawaii, like the day before I was leaving for Hawaii, or maybe 2 days before I was leaving for Hawaii, Charm Games hooked me up with a preview code for Twilight Path. And I was like, oh man, this is bad timing because I'm just about to go to Hawaii and I don't even know if I'm going to have a chance to try this at all, period. Because I got to go to the airport and all of that and get my stuff ready and all this stuff. So I played Twilight Path for probably like 25 minutes that very first time, right? Then I went to Hawaii, and then when I got back from Hawaii, all these other games were out, like or about to come out, like Firewall Zero Hour, all this other stuff. And so I did go back and play Twilight Path a little bit, but I really didn't give Twilight Path a fair shake, really, to be completely honest with you. And so I knew this game was coming out today, and I thought, you know what? I need to hop into Twilight Path because this is coming out tomorrow, and I can tell everybody, you know, I can talk about it a little bit tomorrow because this is the big game for the PC VR crowd today. And so I went in this last night, and I played it for well over an hour. I don't know how far I started a game over from scratch because I had a couple other games where I had already started, but I thought, let me start this over from absolute scratch and experience it again from the beginning. And you know what? I was really impressed. I had a really good time. This is a good buy, man. For $12.74, I think this is a great pickup, especially if you liked the Gallery Episode 1, okay? Because Twilight Path kind of reminds me of the Gallery Episode 1, and it kind of reminds me of Zing, The Land Beyond, okay, a little bit. Kind of reminds me of, it's kind of in the same category as stuff like Chiaro and the Elixir of Life, the Gallery 1, Zing, The Land Beyond, a little bit. I mean, it's hard to explain this game. It's definitely a puzzle game. You're ultimately doing these really interesting puzzles, and the puzzles are set up well, and it's really nice how the puzzles unravel. But there's also this cool kind of a story that is going on, and they kind of transport you to this other world. And some of the things that I'm reminded of in this game, you know that movie, it's something Express, and it's like on a train with Tom Hanks. Polar Express. Is it Polar Express? Where it's like a cartoon movie with Tom Hanks and a train and that kind of thing. There's something about this game that kind of reminds me of that. It kind of reminds me of Wizard of Oz a little bit. You're kind of going down this yellow brick road, and you keep encountering these things that are blocking your path, and then you have to solve these puzzles. And there's basically these characters. Okay, see that little thing that's moving there? You're on this weird little ship that is kind of moving along, and it is following the Twilight Path. And there's these characters, Cannonball Express. No, not the Cannonball Express, Chevy. I know you're thinking of, was Burt Reynolds in Cannonball Express? No, different. I'm talking about the Polar Express, the cartoon Polar Express, Wizard of Oz. I don't know why, but for some reason I get some Wizard of Oz vibes from this game. I get some Polar Express vibes from this game. I don't know if I'll say it's better than Form, but I'll say it's as good as Form. And I will say that it has way more story than Form and probably more charm. And really, if you want something that is kind of like a fairy tale, kind of mystical, kind of upbeat, and kind of takes you to a happy place, the Good Feel Game of the Year with a couple of interesting little characters. There's some characters that are in this game that are voiced. They have voiceovers. They're kind of cute. They're kind of interesting. Paradise Decay says, I enjoyed the story and characters more in Twilight Path. Yeah, I mean, did Form really have characters or really a story in the grand scheme of things? I mean, I don't know. I feel like Twilight Path is much more of like a story, a little adventure. It's short. This is short. You can kind of consider this like a really high-end experience with relatively light puzzles. And I believe especially if you get it for $13, $12.74, I don't see how anybody can go wrong with Twilight if you like that kind of game. If you can take your time and you like a slower game and you don't mind an easier game that is more experiential. Dude, Hybrid, you are missing out on one of the 5 best games ever. Ever. All right, guys, I will see you next time. Take it easy. Later.